Hey, what's up, y'all? This is William, the Permaculture Consultant, and today I'm going to be taking this 5-year abandoned chicken tractor, the one you can see here on its side, and I'm going to be getting it back up to speed. This is the ultimate compost permaculture machine, basically. Like, once it's up and running, once this system is up and running, I'll be producing about a cubic yard of compost every week. It's insane. Now, the downside is that this chicken tractor has been abandoned for about 5 years, so it's slightly dilapidated. It requires some upkeep and some maintenance to get it back up and running. But once it's up and running, it's awesome. This is also one of the best chicken tractors designs that you can use on flat land. If you're on like steep terrain or something like that, this isn't the chicken tractor for you unless you want to keep it stationary, then it's perfectly fine. But this is the ultimate chicken tractor for permaculture application. If you're worried about building soil, if you're worried about making compost, use this chicken tractor design. Now, the first thing I need to do for this chicken tractor before I get it right side up again is replace these wheels. These are the original wheels on that thing, and it's just dry rot. It's just crappy. And believe it or not, the price of this tire right here was about the same price as a brand new rim and tire. So I just went and got brand new rims and tires. I can take these old tires off later and get them, replaced, get the tires replaced and whatnot. But first things first, let's get these wheels squared away. Now, what I didn't realize at the time is the axle, it seems to be a very specific diameter. I couldn't find any tire and rim that would fit this axle perfectly. So what I did was take one of these tires, lined it with a piece of PVC, 3/4 inch PVC, and then kind of secured it within the rim. And then that's going to be, this spacer that's going to take up the extra space for the rim to stay on the axle. Now, all I have to do is slip these cotter pins in. I got to find the right size cotter pin. I'm going to slide this cotter pin in. And now the underside, which shouldn't be difficult at all. Now I can try to bring it, right side up again and get these wheels out of the way. All right, now we can do a little bit more of a tour. This piece right here used to be, what was it, like this fold out awning. Well, as you can see, no longer, because that is just all coming apart. But it was an awning to provide the chickens extra shade in the summer. And yeah, I'll have to come up with a new solution for that. It worked well. It's just, it hasn't survived the abandonment for 5 years. Inside here is, well, here's this roost. That goes up, and then you can see the nesting boxes in the back. That's super handy. Also, you'll notice that there is chicken wire on that back right there. The metal in the back can pop off, as well as the metal on this door right here. So that way, in the summer, there's plenty of ventilation and stuff like that, because the heat is really something to be managed here in Texas, especially during the summer. Like, without the ventilation in the back and the ventilation on the door creating that current of air, I think we'd be baking some chickens. But what's really cool and what makes this so special is the amount of bedding that I can actually, here we go. I forgot this little hook was right here. See if we can get it to work again. It's not reaching. That little hook right there helps hold this string, which helps hold the roost in the way. But I'll just hold it for now. What's really awesome about this chicken tractor is the amount of bedding that I can put in here and the amount of manure I can accumulate on that bedding, I should say, to create future compost. Like, this holds a ton of carbon down in the bottom. Now, some other features on this chicken tractor include eyelets on the corners, so we can, you saw that it was tipped over because of the high winds here, but it wasn't staked down. These eyelets on the corner give you the ability to put down a rope, tie a rope here, and then stake it to the ground and, you know, kind of hurricane proof your chicken tractor. Also got a nesting box here on the outside. It's accessible from the outside, so that way you don't have to, you know, get in the coop or anything like that. I've seen designs where you have to actually get in the coop to harvest the eggs. Well, on this one, you don't have to. And then also, what's cool about these is that there's a little lip right here in the front. So that way all of your bedding doesn't like fly out, and your eggs won't fly out as you're moving this chicken tractor. So that's cool. This is cool. Man, I'm excited to get this thing up and running again. If you're wondering about what the base is, it's actually just a garden cart with the sidewalls taken down. That's it. And then everything was just built on top of the garden cart. So, the only thing left to do is put this door on, and it's meant to come off easily and to be put back on easily. So that, and it looks like crap. It looks like part of it has been broken. So that's something to deal with, but it's meant to be taken off and put back on easily because you're going to be doing that, a lot of that, at least once a week with this design. So let's go ahead and try to get the door squared away. And yeah, I might have to replace either that board or build a new door. I'm not entirely sure yet. So looking at this a little bit closer, I am definitely going to have to replace this top board here, but it looks like the rest of the wood on this door is solid. It's just this top board is broken and splintered and shattered. And yeah, if I can just replace this top board right here, we'll be good to go. But what's cool about this door is that it just fits right inside here, like so. And then you have these bolts that go in through the side. Now I did get some spare bolts because I wasn't sure if all of them were here or not. And obviously this part right here could be designed in a way so you like are on a hinge or something like that. There are definitely improvements that could be made to this door system here. There's one bolt in. Now there's just 3 more to get in. Got a bag of them right over here. There we go. Now she should be pretty stable. So like I was saying before, oh right, this string, I was hooking onto the wrong hook for the roost earlier. This string hooks up here to let the chickens out and stuff. I forgot about that. But that door seems super solid. Let's see how well this thing moves around now. And I should also say the final location for this is not going to be actually at the demonstration site. The final location for this is going to be at my house, like where I sleep and stuff. So that way, like my daughter, she's little, she's just over 1 year old right now. But my wife can also interact with these chickens. And whenever I'm gone on the road for consultations, doing permaculture consultations, it's not difficult for them to do the daily maintenance of the chickens. They don't have to go anywhere. They can just stay at home and take care of the chickens. And the pigs are at an age now, like a size now, where they don't need the constant maintenance of like little piglets and stuff. So trying to make it as easy on them as possible when I'm on the road doing permaculture consultations, which brings me to my next point. If you need a permaculture consultation, hit up the email down below. Email me. I'll come to your property, even if you live way over there. All right, let's see if this thing moves well. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. This thing is just rolling along. So I've positioned my truck in a way where the front end is going uphill across the dam that, you know, blocks off the pond and other pond on the other side. But it lowered the tailgate as much as possible, so that way it's not that steep of an incline to get this chicken tractor up here. Because I'm bringing it to the, oh, I just found another missing piece. And it's the support bracket on this side. So that's another thing to replace on here. But the plan is to get it into the back of the truck and get it to the house Should fit, no issues. Might need to move a few things in the back of the truck, but I positioned the truck so where the tailgate is as low as possible, and I have like some thick plywood that I can use as a ramp to get this thing up. This thing did surprisingly well coming over here. Cool little addition about using this garden cart is that you can take this handle right here and then like rotate it around, and then you can attach it here. We're using this part right here in a bolt. You can attach it to your lawnmower, your side-by-side, your little go-kart, whatever you want to do, and actually pull this thing for you and all your birds, because it's pretty light right now, but as soon as you start putting like 40 or so birds in here, weight adds up pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and get the plywood in position and get the back of the truck cleaned out. And then we'll try to pull this thing on up, and then we can load up the chicken net that I have over there at the entrance of the garden, and then we can move everything to the house. All right, so now that I got it in the back of the truck, I'm gonna definitely strap this thing down using these eyelets up here, and they seem to be strong enough to at least get it to the house. It's not too far away, and I'm not going to be taking any, highway speeds or anything like that. But here we go. Time to strap it up and get on to the road. Alrighty, we got this thing loaded up, and now we're headed back to the house. I hope y'all are praying as much as I am, because this thing catches a lot of wind. We won't be going fast, but man, this thing catches a lot of wind. So one thing I didn't mention earlier is that I'm going to be doing the chicken tractor on steroids with this chicken tractor design. Now, the chicken tractor on steroids, if you're not familiar with it, you can check out Permaculture's farm. In fact, if you type in chicken tractor on steroids, they're going to pop up. My parents have done 3 separate playlists on different types of chickens you can raise in this chicken tractor on steroids. But to sum it up, simplified, what it is basically you have your chicken coop that has a carbon bedding of some sort in it, right? Your chickens stay in there for a week and they poop on it for a week. And that way you're combining the nitrogen from the manure with the carbon of the animal bedding, right? So after a week, everything in the bedding pile gets pulled out and put into the first week compost cage. Everything you get that gets pulled out, goes into the first week compost cage ring, which is going to be the only compost pile that actually enters a cage. Now, the dimensions of the cage is 6 feet in diameter, about 6.5 feet in diameter, and about 18 inches tall. Now, that dimension right there gives you a little bit over 1 cubic yard of material, which is key. When you're making compost, you want at least 1 cubic yard in size, so that way it's big enough to house the microbes that are needed to break down the materials, right? Man, I hope this thing stays. So every week, the week-old bedding gets put in the first week compost cage, and then the first week compost cage gets flipped into a new compost pile. That's your second week. The following week, follow the first 2 steps. Old bedding goes into the compost cage. Compost cage gets flipped into week 2 pile. Week 2 pile gets flipped into week 3 pile. And then you do that until you get to a 4th week pile. Now, your 4th week pile flips outside of the system. That is your finished compost. So in 4 weeks, after your 4th week of doing this system, you should be producing about 1 cubic yard per week, which is a lot of freaking compost, especially when you use it efficiently. If you're using it as a planting medium, there's still a lot of compost, but not, it's just, you're not getting the biggest bang for your buck. If you're doing compost extracts and stuff like that, I mean, you could be drenching and saturating your entire farm all spring to fall long if you wanted to, as long as you have the system in operation. Now, another benefit to this system is that you can eliminate the feed bill for your chickens. So one of the playlists that my parents have done is actually doing this with meat birds. After you wean your chickens off of chicken scratch, like chick scratch, the little baby crumb stuff, after you wean them off that and they're on food scraps after that, there's no more feed bill. Like, you're basically paying for 2 weeks of feed And okay, so in that scenario, you have the purchase of the chicks and the purchase of 2 weeks worth of feed. After that, there's no more feed. And then you're good to go. Everything after that is just straight profit. So the chickens will eat the food scraps that you add to that first week cage. So anything that's not chicken gets thrown into that first week cage, whether it's like kitchen scraps or if you partner it up with a restaurant scraps, anything that's not chicken, the chickens will go through it. They'll eat what they want. Anything that they don't want actually gets turned into compost. So, and I'll be doing this system, so you'll get a better understanding as this system progresses and everything. So don't worry about that if you're not fully grasping the concept just yet. But and then another thing is that the chickens that will actually scratch through your compost piles, like your second, third, and fourth week piles, and they will get a lot of their protein from those piles in the form of bacteria and like microarthropods, macroarthropods. Remember, you're building like a bunch of microbes in that compost pile. You're growing microbes. The chickens are going to take notice and they're going to go help themselves to those microbes. And the quality of eggs just goes through the roof. You get a nice yellow fat layer on the meat birds if you do it that way. It's just a fantastic system. Like it is homestead, like it could be easily the backbone of your property. And in fact, whenever I do of your farm or homestead, and when I do consultations, I usually try to recommend a system like this, especially in the beginning, because fertility is what's needed on most brand new properties, is a fertility and getting fertility squared away. But you also produce a closed loop system. So once you get this system up and going, like it's a closed loop system. There are no outside inputs. So no matter what's going on in the outside world, you have a closed loop system that's completely unaffected, which is awesome, which builds resilience. So I'm going to keep on driving over here to the property. Hopefully nothing busts loose. If it does bust loose, I'll be sure to tell you guys and show you guys. But yeah, if nothing else happens, then I'll see you guys at the property. All right, so we made it to the house. Now, this is actually going to go back here in the backyard. And you might be thinking, oh, somebody's going to complain about you having chickens in the backyard. Well, no, because my backyard neighbor has chickens in their backyard. And it's actually going to go like right here. There's a concrete slab here for, I'm guessing a shed. There was no shed here whenever we got here. But this is where the chicken tractor is going to go. It's going to sit on top of this. And the fence is going to run that way a little bit as well as that way. See, I told you they had chickens. You heard the rooster here a second ago. But yeah, let's get this unloaded and then get everything set up. Actually, I don't need your help, sorry. All right, so the downside now is that I don't think the chicken tractor will actually fit through here. And it's not like I can move that gas line. This is why you always carry either channel locks or some sort of pliers on you. This is one of the most handy tools I carry. There we go. So here it is. The chicken tractor is on place. It's on top of this concrete pad. The first weak compost cage will go right in front of it, and then the piles will go that way. And then I plan on building some raised beds over there to grow food here at the house. So yeah, hopefully this was a fun little journey for you. Hopefully it was more fun for you guys than it was for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, we'll see you.